All right, what's up, y'all? I got a controversial one here today. Ooh, my hair looks wet. I just got out of the sun on the cold plunge, so if my hair looks wet, that's why. But yeah, a little bit of a controversial video here today. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet, but I want to talk about two things here. And one is why you shouldn't listen to most people and how that links to your own goals and dreams and desires and results. And again, if y'all don't know who I am, my name is Justin Block. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an investor. I recently was part of my family's business, which we just sold for the second time earlier this year. And yeah, I love all things business, love all things personal development. So that's what we talk about on this channel. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Why you shouldn't listen to most people. You shouldn't listen to most people because if they don't have what you want and they don't have your best interest in mind, like how do you expect to get to where you want to go? And so knowing that, the opposite is probably true, right? You should listen to someone if they have what you want and they have your best interest in mind. But if you think about life, most people probably don't have what you want, and most people don't have your best interest in mind. That's just how things usually go. And for me, I like to look at people's lives like in a holistic point of view, like sort of having it all in the sense like I want for me, and I think most people want this. I think most people want to be healthy. I think we all want to be financially independent. I think we all want to have love in our life, and I think we all want to be fulfilled. And so that's my goal. That's the real goal for me. It's not just being a great entrepreneur. Like being a great entrepreneur to me is just a means to an end. You know, going to the gym for me is just a means to an end to get healthy. The real goal is having all four of those. But how many of us have one of those, let alone all four? Show me someone who has all four. Those are the people I look up to, and they're very rare. But in so many areas of our life, and let's just use the wealth bucket, the business bucket, we listen to people who don't have what we want and don't have our best interest in mind. You know, say you're starting a marketing agency and you want to scale to $5 million a year, whatever the number is. You need to go find someone who's scaled a marketing agency to $5 million, $10 million, $25 million and listen to them. You shouldn't go listen to the guy online preaching how to scale your marketing agency where he doesn't have a marketing agency himself. But yet so many of us do this, right? Like so many of us go to our friends, our parents for, workout advice, but they're not personal trainers. They don't have what we want, right? They might not have our best interest in mind. But yet so many of us do this. And knowing that, like most people, again, if you look at their lives, and again, I'm not saying I'm the expert here. I still have a lot of things I need to work on myself. But if you look at their lives, they probably don't have what you really want. And I think most people are honestly lost and they optimize for the wrong thing, right? Like I'll give you all a few examples of people I know in my life. I know billionaires, I know decamillionaires who make a lot of money. They're really great entrepreneurs, but they're not healthy. They don't really have the best, love life, whether that be a spouse, family, friends, and they're not fulfilled. And to me, that's just like, you can have all the money in the world and that's not the real goal, right? Like I know a lot of rich guys who are really rich and, really good at what they do, but I wouldn't trade lives with them because they don't have the other things that I think are really important. I'm sure a lot of you know rich people who have killed themselves. That happens a lot. There are probably really healthy people out there who don't have a lot of money. There are probably people out there who don't have money or aren't healthy, but they got really great people around them, which is arguably probably even the most important thing, right? And so there's a bunch of different ways you can skin this cat. But what I'm trying to say here is like, if you don't know what you want for yourself, and I'm going to link this to, again, who you listen to now, your goals and your dreams and your results. If you don't know what you want for yourself, if you don't know who you are, how are you supposed to know who to listen to, right? And so if you're listening to people who don't know what they want, don't, have what you want in your own life, like if people are lost themselves and you're listening to lost someone, don't be surprised if you end up lost. And this happened to me. I'm speaking from experience here. That's why I'm making this damn video. It's because I had it happen to me. I think we all go through this, honestly, because it was very rare for me to find the people that, I wanted to be like, and it's not until I found them where my life really, really started to change. I probably dealt with this most of my life. I think most people still deal with this. That's why I'm making this video. Shoot, if I don't even know, like, I'm sort of pissed I got to make this video because I wish I was taught this when I was younger. But yet so many of us are listening to our parents, our friends, our teachers, like who don't have what we want. Like I went to school and I was learning business from a teacher who never started a business. And we were learning out of a textbook from a guy who never started a business about business. And it was just like, it never made sense to me. And I didn't learn anything from them. It makes sense once you like say it out loud and you think about it for a second, right? But yet so many of us are listening to these people who don't know what they're doing and don't even care about us. And especially with social media nowadays, everyone's got a damn opinion. But again, it's very rare for me to find someone who's got it really, not all figured out, but they've got a really damn good life. And that's the goal, right? Like the goal is to have a fucking awesome life. The only thing you should really fear is having a crappy life. But a really good life involves being healthy, being financially independent, having love around you, being fulfilled. At least that's what it is in my opinion. That's what my book's going to be about, but that's not what this video is about. My book, it's about this, which is listening to the wrong. You shouldn't listen to the most people. For me, I probably ignore, out of 1,000 people, I'm ignoring 998 of them. I'm listening to one or two of them. That's how rare it is for me. I think that's how rare it should be for you guys, honestly, nowadays. Because again, if y'all have seen Alice in Wonderland, like let's link to this to your goals now. If you guys have seen Alice in Wonderland, where she's walking on the path, right, and she comes to that fork in the road, and there's that cat in the tree, forget his name, and the cat's like, oh, hey, who are you? Like, where are you trying to go? And she's like, well, I'm Alice. I don't really know where I'm trying to go. And he's like, where should I go? And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. You can go both ways because you don't know where you're trying to go, right? But that's how most people live their lives. They don't even know who they are, what they want, and then they listen to people in the same exact situation. It's just a cycle that perpetuates, right? And I think it's so important to know who you are, right? Because another example is this. Like, I'm sure you guys know a lot of people like this. You might know people who grow up and they might be more artistic, like genetically too, just their own desires, everything that involves being that human being. They might be more artistic, but then they've been told their whole life, go be the doctor, go be the whatever, and they become the doctor and they're miserable. They're making money, but they're miserable because they didn't follow who they really are. And they listen to people who didn't have what they wanted and didn't have their best interest in mind. That is a lot of people. And it's like, no wonder why everyone's like, trying to still figure it out, because we're listening to people who don't know what they want for themselves and don't even care about us really. And it's just like, stop. It's like, stop listening to these people, guys. And you got to find people who have what you want and actually give a shit about you. And that's really the whole point of this video is like, stop listening to people. I'm going to say it a million times. Stop listening to people who don't have what you want and don't care about you. And you got to know who you are and what you want to do that, right? Because if you don't know what you want, how are you going to know who to listen to? So a good tactical thing you can do is take out a piece of paper, lock yourself in a room, no phone, no nothing, and sit with yourself and write out everything you want. Do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, get hyped up about it, have fun with it. Dream life. If money didn't matter, if nothing, if you had everything you could do tomorrow like this, if you could have it all, what would you do? What would you be doing? All that kind of stuff. Have fun with it and then question that. Why do I want this stuff? Who influenced me about this? Is this actually something I want, right? Because for me, you don't really know what you want until you can describe your future reality as clear as you can your current reality. And what I mean by that is, like right now, if I asked you what you did, you'd probably say, I do this job. I'm like, where do you live? You can probably easily say that, right? What kind of clothes you wear, who do you hang out with, what do you like to do for fun? It's easy, right? But if I asked you, where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? You probably couldn't rattle it off like that. Most people can't. You can run this exercise in your own life. Like, go ask your parents, go ask your friends, go ask your peers. I do this all the time. Ask a waitress, ask a waiter, ask a Uber driver, ask your flight attendant, anyone you meet. They cannot give you a really specific answer. So if you don't even know what you want and you're listening to people who don't have your best interest in mind and they don't even have what you want, like, don't be surprised if you end up nowhere, right? And so most people are aiming at a target they can't even see. I see this in business all the time because I invest and buy companies, right? I talk to entrepreneurs all the time and I ask them, who are you? Why do you start the business? They might tell me a little bit about themselves, right? And I question them about the business. So like, why do you start the business again? And they're like, well, I had this problem in my life and I wanted to solve it. Okay, that's awesome. And usually the topic of money comes up, which is great, right? Because money, is a great tool. So I ask them, how much money do you want to make? And they might say like $100,000, right? Just throwing out numbers. And okay, cool, $100,000. Why $100,000? Why not $950,000? And I always get this face. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, why not $950,000? Will that 50 grand make a difference in your life? And they're like, well, no, why are you asking? And I tell them, I'm like, why did you pick $1 million? Like, if that 50 grand is not going to make a difference, why not? Why didn't you say 950? And the point I'm bringing up here is like, you didn't even think about why you wanted the $1 million. We just throw out a number, like it ends in a zero. It sounds nice, right? It's easy. There's no thought put into it. And I'll continue to ask them, right? Like, what do you want to do with the business? What's your long-term goals? And usually the topic of selling it comes up, right? Because they're looking, they're investors. Like, I'm looking to buy a business, getting ROI, right, is the end goal, or either own the business and cash flow it forever, right? And so they might say, I want to get bought out. I want to make $10 million, for example. Okay, cool, $10 million. Hypothetically, I wire you $10 million right now. What are you doing with it? And again, it's a very vague answer. They're like, I might buy a new house, new car, send my kids to a better school, travel a little bit. I don't know. I'm just like, so you're working this hard. Most entrepreneurs are really stressed out and don't enjoy their life, honestly. So they, for the most part, they're working really hard. They're not having fun. They're letting their health slip. They're letting their family life slip. They're not fulfilled. They're working this hard for a number that they don't even know what they want to do with it. And I'm telling them, I'm telling them this from an investor point of view. So I'm like, dude, why would I invest in you? You have no idea what you want. And they look at me all puzzled, and I'm just like, I'm sure you've never been talked about this before. No one's ever told you this stuff. And they're like, no. And I say, same. Most of my life until I learned this stuff. That's why I'm talking to you about it. But this is how most people live their lives. That's just a business example. Most people are aiming at a target they can't even see. And then they're listening to people on top of that who are lost themselves and don't have their best interest in mind. So it's not surprising to me if you wake up one day and you feel lost and you don't like your life. It's like, well, take a look at what you've been doing, man. Have you even decided what you want? Why do you want it? Are your goals that you even want good for you? Do you have goals about how you want to feel one day? I don't think most people have that either. And then again, you're listening to people who don't know what they want for themselves and don't have their best interest in mind. So again, I'm not trying to put anyone down in this video. I've been through this myself. That's why I sought out those people, because it was a big pain point in my life. And I want to use this video as empowerment to help you become aware of if you are struggling right now, that's not a bad thing. It's okay. We're just not taught this stuff. You just aren't aware of it yet. But now is the time to fucking do something about it. You listen to this video, it's like, okay, I'm switching things up. I'm pulling the plug. I'm going to go do what I want. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go find some people that can actually help me, and my life's going to be fucking awesome. That's what happened to me. I found those handful of guys, those people, my mentors now, and my life got way better. A million, I can't even quantify it now. And I made a video about mentors earlier, and some of these guys I had to pay to get access to. Some of them were just in my circle. But my life got a million times better when I stopped listening to most people and I only listened to the people that I wanted to be like. I modeled them. I modeled their behavior, their mindset, what they did, right? Their beliefs. Because you got to do shit about it, right? You can believe all the stuff you want, but if you're not, confirming that with an action, what's the point? And so I did that. And over the past 6-7 years, my life has gotten way, way better. And it's continued to get better as I've continued to do this. And I think this is the cheat code that a lot of people are missing. But again, everyone's got social media nowadays. Everyone's giving an opinion. I'm giving an opinion. Again, I'm not saying I'm the expert here, but I think I've got the real goal figured out for the most part. And I think most of us want that. And so I'm working on this myself. And so again, I don't know what this video is going to be called. It might cause me some flack, but you should really ignore most people if they don't have what you want, which most people don't. And they don't have your best interest in mind, which most people don't. That's just how it is. Most people care about themselves more on their immediate circle, their immediate family. So you got to be extremely intentional with who you listen to. Just like y'all see these books behind me. This might seem like a lot of books, but there are millions and millions of books out there, right? You might read a book that says go do one thing, and you might read a book that says go do the other. You can't read all the books. You got to be really discerning with who you listen to. It's just the same thing with fucking people. Stop listening to everyone. Find the people who you actually want to be like and model them. Stop reading all the fucking books. I love to read, and if it sucks, I stop. I just stop. And that happens with a lot of books. A lot of books suck. A lot of businesses suck. A lot of people don't have what you want. But if you find the people who do, your life will be way better. So be really, really discerning with who you listen to. Know what you want. Know why you want it. Get better reasons. And it's okay to change as things evolve, because life happens. You might take one step and figure out, I don't want this anymore. I want to go to the next thing. That's cool. That's how it works. But go find someone who can help you. You're just going to compress time and get it a lot quicker. And it's going to be way more fun, right? Because you can do all this stuff. You don't have to, you can say, fuck you, Justin. I don't want to listen to you. I'm going to go do this thing by myself. And I think that's cool. It just might take you 85 years. And I don't know about y'all. I don't want to do that, right? Because I like it. I liken it to this, in a way. If you're sailing a boat, right? And you want to go west to the island, whatever island, you're going west to the island. But you don't have a map, and you don't know where you're really at, and you don't know where how to get there. You're probably going to end up lost, right? And also, let's give you another example here. Say you are sailing your boat, and you go find a map from a guy who is supposedly a good map maker. And he gives you the map, and he's like, this way is west, and you go that way, but it's east. And so you've been going east the whole time when you wanted to go west. And so you listen to a guy who was supposedly good at making maps, but he sent you the wrong way. That happened. This is what a lot of life is right here. We're listening to people who we haven't put that much time into, just like you'd vet a business partnership or relationship. And we just listen to them thinking, okay, you're a map maker. I'm going to listen to you. He could be a horrible map maker, and he sent you down the wrong way. And now you're going the wrong way. It's going to take you forever to get there. But most people don't even you got to do this diligence on things, right? But how many of us are actually going to find the best map maker out there, one of the best map makers out there to actually confirm this is where I need to go? He's been there before. He can help me. But most of us go without the map. Most of us find the wrong map. And the thing about the map too, it's going to be always be different than a terrain. Even if you have the right map, you're going to have to figure it out along the way, and that's just life. I'm not saying this is the 100% blueprint. You can never be 100% certain about things. All I'm trying to get across here is like, be really careful about who you listen to. It's one of the biggest levers you can pull in your life, from like every area of your life. It's going to influence you the most on social media, especially. Like, just stop listening to everyone. Like, find people who you really want to be like. Know that about yourself. Know what you want. Know that your goals that you're going for are actually good for you. Like, this stuff takes work. It takes time. But how many people are actually going to do this kind of stuff? I don't even know how many people are still watching right now. But this is all I'm trying to say is, like, if you're at a point where you don't know what you want, that's cool. That's fine. But no, you can change. You gotta do the work yourself. You gotta know what you want. You gotta find people who can help you, because they'll also be able to pull things out of you that you didn't really know that you wanted. They'll be able to expose you to new things. Shit, I've been exposed to so many new things since I found my mentors, and they make me think bigger now. Now life is even more fun. So that'll happen to you as well. So yeah, hopefully y'all got something out of this video today. Again, I'm gonna end it here. If you guys like what I do, like what I talk about, again, I invest and buy companies. You can follow me on Instagram, Justin M. Block. I'm posting videos here about personal development, business. And yeah, hopefully y'all got something out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.